The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting off with Mike Falk in the town of Lima. Mike, what's it looking like in Lima?
Hello, Chris. Thanks for hosting us again. So some sad news. Lima, of course, is mourning the passing of Pete Yondell. Pete was my predecessor and participated in local government here for 37 years. And he was in the fire department and did a lot of great things for this community. The celebration of life is going to be at Fanatics on Saturday the 12th from 2 to 4 p.m. And any contributions are to be made to the Shriners Hospital. The library is going to be changing up its hours a bit. So Saturday, October 12th, the Saturday hours will resume beginning at 9, closing at noon. They will be closed October 14th for the Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day off there. On Wednesday, October 16th, Medicare annual election period information session with Philip Alamond is going to be offered between 2 and 3:30. So if you're looking at Medicare, this would be some good information for you on how to choose. Monday, October 21st, the Real Women, Veterans of Vietnam with Nancy Lynch is going to be inspired by best-selling author Kristen Hanna's historic novel, The Women. They'll be hosting that on Monday, October 21st. If you know a veteran locally whose house might be in need of some windows, Wonder Windows is doing a Wonders for Warriors project where they will be installing a full house of windows free of charge to a local deserving veteran. They're asking for submissions of names to consider, and they're accepting nominations through November 15th. You can make the nominations through the website, wonderwindows.com. Congresswoman Tenney is going to be hosting a Vietnam War commemoration pinning out in Lyons on October 18th at 11 a.m. Veterans can go ahead and sign up to RSVP to be there. Vietnam vets can get pinned, but you've got to RSVP by calling the Victor District Office at 585-869-2060. Leave your name, rank, dates of service, and branch of the military. Any questions on that, you can also get a hold of me at the Lima Town Hall. Also on the veterans vein, don't forget Operation Greenlight is in full tilt here in Livingston County. Please go ahead and light up the front of your house with the green light now through November 13th, which will cover Veterans Day on Friday the 11th. Lastly, early voting is coming. So we're getting a lot of questions about this at the town hall. In Livingston County, there is only one spot to early vote, and that is down at the Government Center in Geneseo. Voting starts on Saturday, the 26th of October, and ends on Sunday, November 3rd. Most of the days, it is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, on Monday, the 28th, it's 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., as it is on Wednesday, the 30th. So those 2 days, there's some later evening hours. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right, thanks, Mike. I'll be reading for Rick Milne, who couldn't be with us today. He reminds us that this has been fall weekend, a big celebration within the community and certainly the HFL school district. he wants to thank everyone who was involved in planning the events that have been taking place. We are always proud of our HFL students, our Cougar sports teams, and all those taking part in the events. A special congratulations to the HFL Hall of Fame honors recipients. Thank you for setting such a great example, and congratulations on your lifetime of success. Go Cougars! A reminder that next weekend, October 12th, is the Western New York Girl Scout Pumpkin Festival, which will be held at Harry Allen Park from 6 to 8 p.m. This is a great event for the kids to come out in their costumes and enjoy the booths, food, and music. But most of all, we encourage you to take part and bring a carved pumpkin to add to those on display around Harry Allen Park. Honeoye Falls residents, business owners, and those residents that live in the town of Mendon outside of the village that are serviced covered by the Honeoye Falls Fire Department will be receiving a letter from the village and a link QR code to view and listen to a presentation regarding the Honeoye Falls Fire Department and our need for the use of per diem firefighters in lieu of volunteer responders. This presentation, we feel, is very important to view, and there will also be opportunities to attend a live presentation regarding the same. These dates and times and locations will be provided to the public in the upcoming days. For some pre-planning, we want to make sure our residents and friends around Honeoye Falls know that the HFFD annual Christmas holiday parade is currently scheduled for December 14th. More information will be forthcoming. And now on to his role as Monroe County Legislature. Rick Milne says, "My thanks to those that attended my office hour in Rush this past Monday, September 30th. It's always nice to speak with residents from within my legislative district, LD5, and hear about concerns and answer questions that are related to the County of Monroe or their respective communities. I sincerely appreciate all of our first responders, fire, EMS, law enforcement at all levels, and also the incredible hospital staff personnel that handle our emergencies, no matter how large or small. I also want to mention all of our community highway DPW department staff for all their efforts to keep our villages, town, and county communities in great shape." And that was from Rick Milne. And now it's over to John Moffett in Mendon. What's moving in Mendon, John?
Well, a few things today. First of all, Election Day is coming up on November 5th, and there are two sites in the town of Mendon to vote on Election Day. That being the Mendon Community Center on North Main Street in Honeoye Falls, and the Mendon Firehouse on Route 64, the Mendon-Honeoye Road, in close to the hamlet of Mendon. For those of you who may have voted at St. Catherine's in the past, you will now be voting at the Mendon Fire Hall. Those are for districts 5 and 6. There are early voting locations, and those locations, early voting starts October 26th through November 3rd. There are no early voting sites in the town of Mendon. However, there are 3 fairly close to us, one at the Henrietta Public Library, one at the Pittsford Town Court Building, and one at the Perrington Square Mall. There are several others throughout Monroe County that may be more convenient than any of the ones I mentioned, but those are the closest ones to the town of Mendon. For hours of operation at those sites, please go to the Monroe County Board of Elections site so you can see the hours. Also, if you are willing to serve your community as a poll worker, the pay is $270 for 1 day of work. It is a presidential year, as we all know, so they do need lots of help. And once again, you can go to the Monroe County Board of Elections if you're interested. Even if you're not 18 years old, if you're 17 years old, you can work and be paid as a poll worker. So please check into that if you have a 17-year-old in your household who might be willing to work on election day. Regarding elections, political signs. Just a reminder that in the town of Mendon, outside the village of Honeoye Falls, chapter 260-70 of our code says that all temporary signs, which include political signs, must be 15 feet from the edge of the road. If they are not 15 feet from the edge of the road, you are in violation of the Mendon Town Code. You may receive a letter, your signs may be removed. If your signs are at a place that violates state law, for instance, the roundabout on Route 65, those will be removed. That is a violation. You can't put a political sign on a stop sign or impede traffic and distract drivers. So please, we want to encourage everyone to exercise their First Amendment right for their political candidate of their choice. However, we have had a lot of calls, a lot of complaints about political signs recently, as in the past, and I'm asking everyone to please follow the rules. And that way we all can live happily ever after through this next election. Moving on to a familiar subject over the last few weeks is regarding the budget. I did present the budget to the town board at the September 30th town board meeting. Our next meeting is October 15th. At that point, the board can choose to change anything they would like to and possibly move it to preliminary status, which would trigger a public hearing that will be at a future date. Our tentative budget is on the Town of Mendon website. Feel free to take a look at it and give us your opinions. It's your money. And also our fiscal scores are out for towns. And for 2023, which is the most recent one, the town of Mendon has a fiscal score of 0.0 and an environmental score of 3.3. Fiscal scores are based on your prior year's budget, and if you how you budgeted and if it was appropriateness of the budgeting. And the environmental score is completely out of our hands. It has to do with housing and housing costs and various things that are out of the town's control. Any score under a 40 is considered acceptable by the New York State Comptroller's Office, and we obviously are way under that score. And I think that's going to wrap it up for me this week. Thank you.
All right, thanks, John. Mike, anything more to add? Nope. All right, well, thank you both for being here. Thank you all for watching this show. Remember, it airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page, subscribe to the channel, and those platforms will notify you when the broadcast begins. Otherwise, you can read it in next week's paper where we've got the transcript. That's all for this week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.